You know that feeling when you're trying to put together a complicated machine using instructions written in a language that doesn't really exist. You turn the pieces, adjust the parts, telling yourself that logic will eventually solve it, and yet somehow the whole thing falls apart in your hands. That frustration is exactly what many people feel when they try to understand relationship dynamics using only one way of thinking. It's like running new software on very old hardware. The system crashes, not because anyone is broken, but because the frameworks don't match. Today, the purpose is not to attack, blame, or reduce anyone to something less human. The purpose is awareness, to look at patterns honestly, without insults, without bitterness, and without pretending that men and women always approach relationships in the same way. Once you understand these patterns, many past conversations, conflicts, and breakups start to make more sense. Not because someone was evil or cruel, but because different strategies, expectations, and incentives were working at the same time. Let's start with a basic truth. Men and women often process relationships differently. This is not about one being better than the other. It's about different pressures over time shaping different priorities. Historically, men were rewarded for building things, protecting resources, solving problems, and creating stability. Women were rewarded for awareness of people, risk detection, and securing emotional and material support in uncertain conditions. These tendencies still exist today, even though modern life looks very different. When these differences are ignored, confusion grows. Many men say, "I gave everything I had and she still walked away." What they often fail to understand is that attraction and connection are not kept alive by sacrifice alone. Consistency, self-respect, purpose, and direction matter. When someone gives up their own identity completely, the relationship often loses balance. Not because generosity is wrong, but because abandoning yourself slowly erodes respect on both sides. During conflict, men often focus on fixing the immediate issue. Women often connect the present problem to emotional memory and past experiences. One side wants a solution. The other wants understanding and recognition of built-up feelings. Neither response is wrong, but when they collide, both people feel unheard. Once you understand this, arguments stop feeling random. You stop thinking, "Why can't this just be solved?" And begin to see that sometimes the issue isn't the current problem, but the history behind it. Many relationship choices are shaped by four internal questions. How do I feel right now? What am I gaining or losing emotionally, socially, or practically? How does this affect my sense of value compared to others? And are there better options available? These questions are not immoral. They are human. Everyone asks them at some level, even if they never say them out loud. Modern dating and social media increase these calculations by constantly showing comparisons and alternatives. Loyalty is also often misunderstood. For many men, loyalty means staying committed and enduring through difficulty. For many women, loyalty is connected to continued emotional connection, growth, and engagement. When one side relaxes fully while the other still needs effort and reassurance, resentment begins to grow. Stability without presence can feel like neglect. Constant effort without limits can feel insecure. Balance is what keeps respect alive. You've seen this dynamic before. One partner is described as calm and distant, the other as intense and always available. Neither extreme holds attraction for long. Attraction usually lives in the space between safety and excitement, not in too much of either. People don't respond to the total amount of attention. They respond to movement, progress, and emotional contrast. Social influence also matters. People naturally compare their lives to those around them. Friends, family, coworkers, and online images shape expectations. Social media intensifies this by presenting carefully selected highlights as normal life. This doesn't mean people are shallow. It means the human brain is sensitive to comparison. Awareness protects you from absorbing unrealistic standards. Contradictions confuse many men, wanting commitment but fearing loss of attraction, wanting emotional honesty while still needing strength, wanting success but resenting the pressure that comes with it. These are not always manipulations. Often they are inner conflicts. What matters is whether you abandon your values trying to meet every expectation. Strength is not cruelty. Boundaries are not rejection. Emotional control is not emotional absence. When someone opens up emotionally, timing and balance are important. Vulnerability without stability can overwhelm a relationship. Strength without openness creates distance. The lesson is not to avoid vulnerability. The lesson is to build your foundation first. When you are grounded in purpose, direction, and self-respect, vulnerability becomes connection instead of collapse. Modern independence has changed survival needs, but emotional instincts are still there. Validation, attention, and lifestyle compatibility have replaced older survival pressures. That doesn't make anyone bad. It means old instincts are operating in a new environment. Without understanding this, people become confused, resentful, or reactive. Guilt and fear are powerful emotional forces. Anyone can use them, consciously or unconsciously. When your choices are based only on avoiding conflict or abandonment, you lose your sense of self. A healthy relationship does not require constant self-removal. Respect grows when both people remain whole. Upbringing also shapes behavior. Many men are taught that love must be earned through effort and performance. Many women are taught that love should be freely given and emotionally expressive. These beliefs collide later in life. Awareness helps you stop chasing approval and start building mutual respect. Patterns repeat when people don't see them. One partner gives more, the other raises expectations, respect weakens, fear grows, and the relationship ends. This is not fate, it is a dynamic, and dynamics can change with awareness and self-leadership. Attraction responds to confidence, consistency, and emotional stability, not arrogance, not control. Strength is calm presence under pressure. Weakness is abandoning yourself out of fear. Everyone senses insecurity just as easily as they sense stability. Emotions are powerful tools. They can connect or influence depending on awareness and intent. The goal is not to suppress emotions, but to guide them. When you do, you stop reacting and start choosing your actions. Equality is complicated. People want fairness, but they also want comfort and advantage. This tension exists in everyone, not just one group. Mature relationships accept this reality and talk honestly instead of pretending everyone wants the same things. Communication is rarely just about information. It's about validation, alignment, and emotional positioning. Complaints are often requests for understanding, not demands for solutions. When you realize this, you stop arguing details and start responding with awareness while keeping your self-respect. Comparison never fully disappears. People compare themselves and their partners constantly. This doesn't mean they will leave. It means attraction must be maintained through growth, presence, and shared direction. People can hold opposite feelings at the same time: love and doubt, commitment and fear. This doesn't make them villains, it makes them human. Truth feels different depending on emotion and timing. Friendships and relationships are exchanges of time, energy, and support. When that exchange feels uneven for too long, distance appears. Men and women often bond differently, which creates misunderstanding rather than intent to harm. Ambition and attraction interact in complex ways. Growth can strengthen a relationship or create tension if values and identity are not aligned. That's why purpose and communication matter. At the center of all this is one empowering truth. You are responsible for your standards, your direction, and your mindset. You cannot control another person's instincts, choices, or reactions. You can only control how you show up. The choice is simple. Learn the dynamics, respect yourself, and engage with awareness. Or stay confused, reactive, and bitter. You don't need anger, you need clarity. Understanding differences does not mean hating anyone. It means letting go of unrealistic expectations. It means building relationships based on awareness instead of fantasy. When you stop expecting others to think like you, disappointment fades. When you build your life with strength and direction, relationships become an addition, not a solution. Most people will ignore this. Comfort feels safer than growth. But if you reach the end, it means you're ready to improve. Hold on to that drive. Keep evolving. This space is for those who choose clarity over illusion. Welcome to the real world.